Hey everybody, it's Mike from Growtopia. I came back. I got a wardrobe change shown. I got some shorts on. I got a different shirt. Sweated through that one. God, this is going to be a blooper reel before the video starts. So anyway, stay tight, hold on tight, and keep your hands in the soil. Mike's about to get some nuts grabbed. Now, take me out to the ball game where I can grab some nuts. Peanuts, to be exact. Did you know that you can grow your own peanuts by growing peanuts? So the simple, easy peanut has two nuts inside. Now, you don't have to do anything. These are raw peanuts from Virginia. You take the peanut, you put it in some soil, you cover some soil over it, you let it sit, and well, you get this. Peanut plants. Now, it takes a long time for them to grow, so what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling some out. And you can see, now the problem is, as you can see right here, that plant only has one peanut. Sometimes a peanut plant will either have 1 to 6 peanuts. So, you wonder why roasted peanuts are so expensive? This is why. One peanut can only come from one plant. Not all the time. So now, we're going to take our fresh peanut, I'm going to stick it in our pail. Now, I'm not growing these just to eat them. You could eat these as well. The best way to eat them is you put them in your oven and you roast them. But what I like doing with them is feeding my blue jays with them. And my blue jays love my nuts. And there is, well, quite a lot of nuts in here. Now, of course, a lot of these nuts are nuts that didn't grow, and a lot of these nuts in here are nuts that did grow. And to tell the difference, you can't really tell by putting my nuts in your hand. So if you guys just look, I got a lot of nuts in my hand. Now, if you really want to figure out how much peanuts you're growing, just basically put X amount of peanuts in the ground and see how many peanut plants you get. Now, this thing was really full of peanut plants all summer long. So what am I going to do with the rest of these plants that aren't growing? Well, they kind of have roots on them, which is really interesting if you notice that. So the plant itself has roots on it. And you can see that this one has a baby peanut on it. And you could tell that the plant broke out of a peanut shell. So what do you do with these peanut plants, you say? Well, I pull them out of the ground, I'll grab my nuts, I'll put my nuts in the pail, and then I'll take the plants and I'll stick them back in the ground, and I'm going to see if I get more peanuts as I start another batch of peanuts in a different planter. As you can tell here, perfect example, you can see the nut. The roots coming out of the nut. So that's going to go back in the ground. Now, this is really strenuous work. You know, I put them in the ground, I water them, and then I pull my nuts out. And it's painful too, because you got to take the nuts and you got to just get them through the soil. And so while I'm pulling my nuts out, you guys can sit here and watch the comical commentary. See that? 2 peanuts growing right there. And who says my nuts aren't big? Look at that. I like to call these my Long Island nuts. Look at them. Nice and plumpy, aren't they? It's like they're screaming, give me some coffee. Now, because I put probably over 100 peanuts in here, it's just tons and tons of peanuts that are growing in here. Now, if I can get all my nuts out of here, that's great. But if I can't get all my nuts out, that's fine, because my nuts are just going to constantly keep producing more nuts. But all I want to do is get a couple handful of nuts to see what my nuts look like, and maybe see what my nuts taste like. Now, you put them in the oven at like 400 degrees, and you can roast them for about an hour until they start smelling really good. Usually what I do is I'll obviously clean them off quick, not with water but with a rag, just a damp towel. I don't want them soggy. And I'll clean them off. I'll put them on a baking pan, cover them in a little bit of olive oil, and I'll stick them in the oven. Now you don't have to do olive oil, but I think just using olive oil makes things sound fancy. Now, just like I would do with my potatoes, I'm only going to take out what I need, while the rest of it goes back in. I'm just going to rough up my ground and leave all the rest of my nuts and my plants in here. But I do want to know is, what in the hell is this thing here? Whatever it is, it's got quite a big taproot. So before my nuts go flying, let me move my nuts out of the way. And also, don't pull your back while doing this. Viewer discretion is advised. Sometimes yanking isn't always the best idea. There. Fuck is this? Jesus. I tell you, I got one thing, it's got a hell of a lot of roots in it. A lot. Well, I don't see anything in it that screams the word peanuts, so obviously this is just one hell of a weed. So I'm going to toss that over there. Now I'm going to try to get my peanut plants back upright. Now what I could do is I could also come through here with cutters, and I can cut it all back, cut it all down, but I'm just going to let it sit here and let nature take its course. Grab my other plants, bring them back in here. Just stick them in there like such. Nothing fancy. Just a good way of chaos planting. Now, of course, they're not really sitting under the soil like they were before. So I'm going to take some soil and sprinkle it on top, like such. And then I got a planter that got overwatered. It's really soggy. So I'm going to take my soggy soil and I'm going to dump it like such. Put it all on top of here. There's a marigold. I'm not going to lie, but this really smells like shit. It does not smell good right now. I'm going to pull my plant back the other way, like such. Grab another tray of soil. Try to cover my nuts up that are on this side. You always want to make sure your left and your right nuts are covered. And I grab another tray. Now for watering for the rest of the year, as it goes into the month of October, basically what watering when it comes to these guys is basically every two times a week, and that's it. So I'm going to take these guys, stick these guys back where they belong, keep wiping the sweat off my face, and when I'm done putting my nuts back, we'll have another video. This is Mike from Growtopia. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. This is Mike growing his own peanuts at home. Later.